Cloud9 versus M2KC. Winner of this series moves on to the grand finals.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the upper bracket final. We got $100,000 being distributed across these four teams today, and grabbing that first finalist spot, it's got to be a pretty good feeling. We got the Mage Lock Paladin going up against the Windwalker Mage Paladin, and this is a matchup that Cloud9 dominated when they faced Mystery Org a little bit earlier, but with a different strategy here coming out of M2KC, they were able to best the Charlotte Phoenix playing this Mage Lock. So we don't really know who's favored in this matchup. We're just going to have to see, because these two teams are so good at playing these comps, who will come out on head.
I feel like besting them is like a little bit of an understatement. I feel like they absolutely smashed and destroyed Charlotte Phoenix again on the Mage Warlock. It was so one-sided to the point where I'm actually worried about Cloud9 if M2KC can replicate their performance that we just saw earlier on. Cerulean retreating back to the pillar. He's under fire. Drake now the target as he is out in midfield. I'm curious to see how Wealthy Man and Chanimal coordinate their crowd controls together, those conflagrate roots, trying to hold targets out in the open. And you can see Cloud9's positioning very far back. They don't even move back up into midfield until after Drake is fully retreated back. Whereas I feel like when we watched Burn and Jamili, they would both be playing in the midfield for some time. Right now they've got Wealthy Man kind of baiting, and Chanimal switched his pet to a succubus. He's actually sending it across the middle of the field. It's invisible right now. It's actually even hard to see on the spectator UI, but it's sneaking up on Brain, looking to seduce him and prevent him from healing during the crowd control. So Chanimal's positioned it behind the pillar. It's a really sneaky maneuver by Chanimal.
Yeah, I've never seen Chanimal bring out the succubus pet ever in my life. So this is some next level strategy. Boom, full seduce on the Brain here, trying to get some pressure on Drake here. Drake instantly gonna port back to that pillar, back to safety there. Drake's got to be careful here, because when you're fighting Chanimal and Wealthy Man, these two do more damage than any Lock or Mage in the entire game, and it's very quick to be caught off guard because there's so many people casting at once on your screen. So it's very easy to go overwhelmed here. So Drake often should out that fortifying brew here. Mainly in this matchup here, Chanimal and Wealthy Man are just looking to get as much damage out as possible and put themselves in the safest position to try to avoid just randomly being one-shot or triple stacked on by Brain, Cerulean, and Drake when they run in for a go. But we're probably not going to see M2KC try to push in and get super aggressive for a while until dampening ramps up. But right now, Infernal drop onto Drake here, into a Hammer of Justice here, into the opting to port back again here. You always see Wealthy Man try to stagger his Blizzard and his Orb here on pillars, because if you're actually standing behind the pillar, you can only avoid one of them if they're both there. And he's just doing so much damage, stacking up all these Frost Bolts here, lots of AoE damage. Chanimal actually porting away here too, as Drake tries to get some pressure there. I think Cerulean actually traded out the Combust there too. Nothing too crazy right now. As we see, Cubsy's always going to opt for early drinks here, because you want to make sure that when you're playing versus any kind of team, especially when you're playing the Mage Lock side, that you have as much mana as possible when dampening ramps up, because that's going to be where most of the game becomes craziest. So right now, once again, Drake trying to push out into the middle, trying to get that ring of peace out there onto Wealthy Man, trying to do as much damage as possible here. He wants to make sure Drake, whoever he's attacking, is in line of sight of Cerulean to get as much value as possible while he's out there, because it's always dangerous for Drake to be out there, but it's not as dangerous for Cerulean or Brain to be standing where they are. So Drake's always got to be careful and be aware of where he is, and try to maximize what's going on. And it looks like Drake now once again porting back here, as Chanimal does opt to use that Demon Soul here, just rotating through the cooldowns. Nothing too crazy, no big one-shot potential yet, but slowly we see Cloud9 actually often pushing here. Cubsy getting that full Hammer of Justice onto Brain here. Wealthy Man trying to get that polymorph, gets locked by Cerulean, full stun onto Chanimal, instantly turning the pressure on, once again gating away. Wow. Chanimal's actually playing Port as well, which means he doesn't have that Mortal Coil, so putting more value on the polymorphs from Wealthy Man as opposed to the health and the minor CC he can get from that, because I guess he values the position more in that sense.
Yeah, and this is something C9 does so well. They're just staying super far back. Cerulean, you want to play the game, you're going to have to come to our side. And this is something that, when we saw Charlotte Phoenix play, they were just standing there kind of tanking damage. This is making it a lot easier to actually deal with Cerulean's damage. He's getting crowd control. Wealthy Man is polymorphing him up. And they decide to go on him. Chanimal just pulls even further back there. Now Wealthy Man is the only target, and all of a sudden Cerulean is you know, in the middle of the map. And Drake, if he takes too much damage, Brain is going to have to expose his positioning, and that's a situation where C9 can start finding CC on the healer and start setting up these kills. Right now, they're pushing Seralium out of the midfield here. Chanimal lobs out 2 fat Chaos Bolts. Immediately, Seralium has to blink back to the safety of that pillar, and now he's just trying to get those fireballs, try to get those gushing procs. Multi-Man just trying to get a little bit of pressure around that pillar with the Frozen Orb and the Blizzards, just trying to make sure that Brain is getting AoE behind there. Now, big push happening here onto Wealthyman. Trinkets out of the leg sweep. That was the touch of death there from Drake. Drake, he has a lot of defense, but he ups support back after he used that leg sweep and got a trinket for it. Feel like that's a worth trade. Gonna sit back, refocus a little bit, and then look to push in the next time here, Sid.
I feel like both of these teams are playing the most defensive strategies they actually have available in the game to themselves. So likely to be a long match here. I'm curious to see how it plays out deeper into dampening, though. Is the melee range of the Windwalker going to hold back the team potentially and be an exploit for Cloud9? So far, they've made it 5.5 minutes in quite easily against M2KC. So I do imagine that they will be able to extend this deep into dampening, maybe overwhelming Brain. That succubus strategy, once again, Channel sneaking it in across midfield. It does look like it got disrupted by a Dragon's Breath of Seralium, though, so Seralium with good awareness there. Now looking to pop off some damage. Welterman blinks back, Drake's in a poly. Channel switches to the Imp, so he switches to Succubus, sends it just on a 10-mile hike to Brain, uses Seduce, alright, didn't work, switches back to Imp to make sure that he can dispel crowd control. Channel's just trying to min-max every single possible option here for his team to sneak in a win. Cubs is still just max range. Wealthy Man tanking damage right now, though, from Seralium, and he is running that kind of mixed gushing build, so his pressure is going to be a lot more substantial than we've seen from a lot of other Fire Mage builds, and Cubsy is struggling a bit to heal through it. Wealthy Man isn't entirely comfortable. Chanimal gets interrupted. Seralium lands the Chaos Bolt. Drake gets polymarked for a moment. Wealthy Man sets up with a Blizzard on the pillar, looking to try and cleave Seralium and Brain with poke damage, moving deeper into dampening. We see Drake and Brain and Seralium moving forward. No, Drake pulls back. Seralium's much more forward than we've seen him the entire game, just out in midfield. Yeah, I was wondering if he was going to blink back. Seemed a bit odd that he was the only one out there. Maybe he's baiting them, like, hey, look at me, I'm a mage, I'm out here, come and hit me. But Cloud9 are not going to fall for such an obvious bait. Chanimal just relaying his gateway and his demonic circle, making sure that the timers don't fade on those, as this could be a long one.
Yeah, interesting by Chanimal. I've never seen him, like I said this earlier, with the Succubus pet, because when you summon a Succubus pet, you give up the ability to have either a Fell Hunter, which has a counterspell option, so a kick and interrupt on maybe a Fireball or a Polymorph, or maybe even a heal like an offensive play. And then I think Chanimal right now has the Imp out, because the Imp can also dispel certain CCs if they hit it all. So right now, Drake just out here in the open once again, just trying to tank out Wealthy Man and Chanimal. Funny thing to note is look at the matchup difference here. Anyone else that's fought when M2KC was fighting Charlotte Phoenix, I believe, as this same exact matchup, Charlotte Phoenix was on the run the entire time. It felt like they couldn't get any pressure and they were just losing from the second they moved. But here we see how much more damage Cloud9 do. Wow, instant blink counterspell onto Brain there from Wealthy Man as well. Lots of damage onto Drake and Seralium. They got him back on the pillar here. Seralium actually a little out in the open here, eating some Chaos Bolts here. So this is kind of where Cloud9 is beginning to ramp up their damage here. We're going to see Cubsy. Oh, we can't even see him on the screen right now because he's sitting there trying to drink already. Yep, there he is right there. Chanimal gets touched to death, instantly porting back to safety here. And this is where things are starting to get scary. Dampening at almost 20% now. So all damage is going to become much more important. So all these little blizzards, all the immolate dots, anything at all that might be happening, it all adds up.
Oh, the little Succubus is out. Look at him. He's going on the hike. Wait, he gets Dispel on the Succubus for the Immolate, so he can stealth. And now he's sneaking in. There it is. He's invisible. Seralium. He sees it. He AoEs. It's one thing to AoE a rogue out of stealth, but AoEing out the Succubus out of stealth. What? Look at
the orb.
What was... I think Wealthy Man is definitely...
That is like super Zarya orb right there. What is that?
Well, I don't think Wealthy Man is playing with the Zaryu cam. You have to be really zoomed out to even be able to do that orb right there. And they get a full Seduce here onto Brain, followed up by the Sheep, and now all of a sudden Drake, Seralium covering for their lives behind the pillar, and C9, they are in excellent situation here to go after the healer. Infernal Stun comes in. No Mortal Coil here though, but they might still be able to... What? Did Brain DC there? Or?
Did he? What?
Did his Brain DC, or did Brain...
I didn't even say he was the hardest paladin to kill. I didn't even say it. I didn't even say he was the hardest paladin to kill. Why?
It looked like he DC'd, to be honest with you.
unfortunate way to start off that game. Cloud9 taking the first victory here, though. But let's talk about that game before that moment here. Was it looking pretty, like, who was it favored towards, do you think, Sid, in that game?
It was much harder to tell than the Charlotte Phoenix game. And it's mostly because Cloud9 are just not afraid to stand as far away as possible and do nothing. Whereas I feel like Jamili and Byrne thought that they should be poking, and while they were poking, they were just kind of getting smacked around. So this time around, Cloud9 just avoided it entirely. And in the replay, we're going to see Brain. So he could use Divine Shield at any point during this. It's Infernals. You got double stunned.
He actually used Vitality there.
He pressed Vitality, yeah, and he walled.
Yeah, he was just greedy.
He got greedy.
Probably didn't see anyone near him for the Vitality to work.
Yeah, his teammates were behind the pillar, I think.
Unlucky.
All right, well...
Yeah, I mean, they didn't even need Frozen Orb for that, so...
Yeah, that's a rough one. They got to focus up after that. They got to focus up.
PM there, dude. Just orb the pillar, orb the roof, and then just kill the healer. No problem.
All right, well, Cloud9 taking game 1 victory here. Now M2KC on the back foot to choose their map. Well, they will be choosing their map pretty shortly here. Do we expect them to change anything from game number 1, or would we like to see them change anything?
Probably too early to see if anything changes. I think they just got to run that back. It was too early to tell. The game was just starting to get into dampening, and that was a really cheesy kill on Brain there. I mean, yeah, he just like didn't press anything. I could have probably survived there by pressing bubble too. So, you know, that was just a bit unlucky situation. It happens. You know, sometimes you zone out after the game, so you just got to refocus, relock in. Because obviously the matchup is still winnable on either end. It wasn't looking like one team was dominating the other in any regard. And if any team can take out Cloud9 in this matchup, it's going to be M2KC. So we'll have to see what happens with Hook Point. Different map here, a bit smaller map. So we'll have to see here.
Yep, that is M2KC's map choice. Pretty quickly chosen on their part as well so far. The draft has been pretty short. Cloud9, 40 seconds now to choose their composition here. Now that we're going to a pretty small comp, if they still decide to run Mage Windwalker, Zico, do you think that would be a good move here, or is that going to be hard for them?
I think M2KC, they're just probably going to run Mage Windwalker this entire series. I mean, they could run like a... Actually... How come we never, ever, ever in a billion years see Roasties play?
Do they even play with Roasties on the ladder?
Because the Monk's way better than the Rogue, I think. Like, always way better.
The Charlotte Phoenix beat them with the Rogue Mage Pally. They 3-0'd C9 with the Rogue Mage Pally.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like that's not a consistent win, right? Like, that's like one of the few times Cloud9 like lost that badly to Mage Rogue. It's still like a hard matchup, right? Like, I don't think it's a guaranteed win. And I think since they play so much more Monk Mage, they might just be better off as that anyways, because I don't know how much Rogue Mage they've been playing, but it seems like they can beat everything as Mage Monk. They can like always adapt their play at least some way by either pillaring and maybe it's better in damping, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't disagree that Windwalker, you know, is better than Rogue. I was just wondering, we quite literally almost never see them bring him in. But we are going to see one little adaptation here, and that is Wealthy Man is going to be swapping over to that Fire Mage here. So they're going to be fighting fire with fire.
Why do you think they opted to do that here, Subtees? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'm actually wondering why. I felt like Frost was pretty important to this matchup, whereas the Windwalker is going to have a lot easier of a time kind of getting around, and you lose the poke damage. Are they just going to kill Brain with Fire Mage and just crowd control Drake and Cyril and just blink in and kill Brain? Is that what they're planning with this? Maybe they're experimenting.
In the every single bracket of the final.
Yeah, I don't. Well, they're gonna fight Mage Windwalker a lot today, I think. So, taking an opportunity to be like, hey, yeah, Frost worked, but that was not really like in anyone's favor until Brain kind of just had a brain fart and just fell over. So, I think that last game could have maybe gone M2KC's way. So they want to see what Fire can get done. Fire's probably better for killing the Holy Paladin, and also probably better for killing Drake. You're just going to lose control. So, and that's not something that Cloud9 normally does. They don't like losing control. They like getting full control of the game. So this is maybe a risky maneuver by Cloud9.
All right, well, game number 2, Cloud9 already up 1-0 versus M2KC.
All right. And this is going to be M2KC's map choice. This is not an elimination match. We are in the upper bracket right now. The winner of the series will be advancing to the grand finals. This is a best of 5, and we are going to see Wealthy Man. He's playing Greater Pyroblast, Bursa build, and here we go. Brain already is going to be the target of choice here. No, it might be Brain here, actually. Wealthy Man will getting stunned up on his setup, and he's going to go ahead and pull back here. C9 happy with their push there. They didn't really force any big cooldowns, but I think they're not really going to be able to force it too much here. Actually, one Greater Pyroblast onto Brain. He uses the Vitality Conduit. Wealthy Man actually getting counterspelled here. They're looking like they're going after Brain. Channel is also playing Mortal Coil here and no Demonic Circle. So big push here. Greater Pyroblast going to connect. Wealthy Man, nice stun there by Chanimal, but big heals here by the most unkillable Paladin in the game.
You
and
jinxed
it looks
him.
like M2KC is going to stay alive. And yes, I did, Sid. I jinxed hard.
I guess he already died without it being said, so it's his fault, right? So Cubsy's moving in, Brain's in a fear. Cloud9 look to engage. Blinding Light used on Chanimal there. Brain's desperate, trying to reposition. Cubsy's just chasing him down on his charger. Not able to connect just yet. Actually getting caught by Brain's hammer. Cubsy breaks out to go after Brain. Wealthy Man on the left, Chanimal on the right, looking to close in on Brain. How much damage can they get out here? Chanimal not even getting close to line of sight. Wealthy Man has to solo him. Well, I mean, maybe he can. Dragon's Breath defensively. Chaos pulled in from Chanimal. Brain Vitality Conduits. Are we going to see Cubsy targeted here from M2KC? No, Ring of Frost going to land. Wealthy Man the target. Temporal Shield Vitality Conduit. He is A-OK throughout this assault, but that's only if the crowd control stops coming. It's still more. Cubsy has to Trinket and trade Sacrifice for that massive Dress-to-Gap hit from Drake.
Man, this is a crazy sight to see. It's rare you see Cloud9 running on top of people, but it seems like they're being way more aggressive than normal. when Cloud9's running at you and you're getting CC'd, yeah, okay, yeah. M2KC is finally starting to retreat back here. Cloud9 looking to get aggressive here, just taking all sides of the pill here potentially. Channel also opting to play that Mortal Coil once again since Wealthy Man went back to fire because he's going to be doing less polymorph. So I'm assuming that Paladin kill seems much more realistic since they have a potential Cubsy pushing in for that hammer just to your fear on Sorayam. Trying to get some pressure on the Brain here. Big Chaos Bolt, Mortal Coil off the hodge, just that into an Infernal Sun. Multiple Chaos Dragon's Breath. Wall has been used by Brain here, trading out that Vitality Conduit and the Avenging Wrath there. He should be okay here. M2KC looking to get aggressive onto Wealthy Man here. They've got to shut down the G-Pies. They've got to stop the Chaos Bolts. Wealthy Man's actually getting 2 G-Pies onto Sorayam here. Potentially could do something about that. Nope. Brain able to top him. Full sheep by Wealthy Man onto Brain here. Trying to get aggressive on Sorayam. Nice double shatter free. Bolts are flying in from Chanimal. Is there any follow-up from the sheep? It looks like there is not a half sheep into a full hammer of justice here. Sorayam still under pressure. Double leg sweep from M2KC. Reversing it onto Wealthy Man here. Wow, Sorayam's still just on behind the pillar here. Brain just getting mage locked right now. Cannot move off the pillar. G-Pie is on the Paladin now. So much damage all around from Cloud9 here. Very scary situation for M2KC.
Big push. Sorayam is still low. Brain, he's just not even healing him. He's going for CC right now, and here we go. Cheap on Chanimal. Hodge onto Cubsy. Sorayam not going to be able to find the polymorphs here. Wealthy Man denies him, and that's going to give Cubsy enough time here potentially. Nope, they do land the Ring of Frost through the Blinding Light, and Wealthy Man uses the Healthstone right there, still trying to survive here, trying to counter-aggress actually. They can get any crowd control onto Brain. Wealthy Man is in position for it. Chanimal needs to try to get to the other side here, potentially see if he can get a fear on him. They need to try to pincer Brain here. Cubsy, I think he has Hammer of Justice here, might be able to push in for it. He's gonna look for it, and he's waiting to see if Brain might pre-vitality or something. There it is. Full Hammer of Justice. Big damage here coming in. Shadow Fury to follow it up. Do they have the Mortal Coil as well? Chanimal's looking for it. Can't find it. And the setup is going to be over. Once again, it looks like M2KC are looking to get aggressive here. They find the sheep, though. Onto Brain. Wealthy Man gets kicked on the Greater Pyroblast. Goes for the Ring of Frost. Cubsy now getting singed on the 50-50 there with that Nova sheep. Nicely done by Sorayam, but a little unlucky there. Chanimal coming out ahead there. Triple Dragon's Breath coming through. Cubsy still in CC. Wealthy Man needs to be careful. Taking huge damage here. That Temporal Shield is going to be a fat one. But that was scary enough. Sorayam is on the back foot. Hodge onto Brain. Can they get a fear? Can they get a sheep? Chaos Bolt gets interrupted. Brain, he has Sacrifice. He might need to trade. He doesn't trade. And Sorayam has to use Ice Block as a result of that greed. They keep the chain going. Can they get more? Can they get fears? They're actually looking to swap onto Brain here potentially. Might not find a fear there. And it looks like Brain should be able to stabilize Sorayam with that big divine power. Whoa!
Massive hit there. Hammer of Justice, Ceruleum getting blasted again. Brain gets swapped to triple Shadow Fury. Nice play by Channel. Greater Pyro's coming in straight to Brain, but Avenging Wrath's up now. Wealthy Man potentially on the back foot here. Drake is tearing in. Interrupted on Arcane. Cubs got Avenging Wrath. Both sides going to stabilize here. I love this from Cloud9. More like Aggro 9 here, just taking the map into their own hands. And I don't know if M2KC were ready for Cloud9 to run at them like this, but they are absolutely tearing them apart right now. Triple crowd control once again. Chaos Bolt off to the side by Chanimal, blasting down Ceruleum. He's out of line of sight, blinking barely in time for a sacrifice to connect, trying to retreat, but just feared up by Chanimal, man. They're absolutely getting bullied and bodied in game number 2.
Man, this is a brutal situation for M2KC. They gotta recover. They gotta stabilize here. And things can get very bad very quick when you're fighting Mage Lock, especially when multiple people on your team are dying here. Wealthy Man full sheep onto Brain there, so I am still in trouble. These people have been dying the last minute and a half straight here. Chanimal popping that Demon Soul, trying to get some Chaos Bolts. Vitality Condo traded out there. Drake doing everything he can to shut down Wealthy Man and Chanimal. Nice double leg sweep there, turn the pressure. Lots of damage on the Wealthy Man here. Prowls on the Cubsy, almost cauterized proc from Wealthy Man here. Gotta be careful. Full stun on the Cubsy, potential maybe switch to Cubsy here. Nope, Cubsy trading out that Everyman for himself, gets sheeped half as well. Wealthy Man into a full double blinding light. Wealthy Man 3v1 situation here. Brain caught in that sheep as well. Ceruleum getting so aggressive on the bear. Block and sack overlap. Very scary situation for Cloud9 here. Bit of a panic reaction. This could cost them very soon.
Yeah, they were so far ahead, but now the game is wide open. They only have that blessing of protection and that bubble on Cubsy right now to rely on. Wealthy Man has 0 cooldowns, and he is the target of choice here. Also, the blink, Greater Pyro gets kicked on his blink. Sheeps up Drake, though, on his fist as well, and they are looking at Brain here. Can they find him? They're looking for him. He pre-Vitality Conduits the Hodge, and the Hodge is actually, I think, DR'd right there, so Brain is not going to be in any trouble, and now it's going to be Wealthy Man on the back foot. They need to try to shut down Drake's damage. They need to try to shut down Ceruleum's damage. And now they get an Infernal stun into a Ring of Frost. How is that ring not break? I think Channel actually instantly canceled his Infernals there just for the stun lock. Excellent play here once again by C9. And Ceruleum, he is facing some turbulence here as that cauterized procs and that bubble is forced out. The game is completely even at this point.
Nicely done by M2KC, battling it back, not flinching in the face of Cloud9. Currently 1 up in this. M2KC really can't afford to lose on their map pick. Wealthy Man blinks in, gets double blinded by Brain. Nice interception, however, ends prematurely. Cubsy now in Hammer Justice. Wealthy Man's in trouble. Big Dressing got dropped. Vitality Conduit and Temporal not enough. Cubsy trades Trinket and Sacrifice. Wealthy Man recovers now. Cloud9 need to get aggressive. Chanimal switching over to the Imp to remove crowd control in the future. Realizing that's going to be a problem for Cubsy. Ceruleum retreats behind the fence there to the left. Drake maybe getting swapped to with these Greater Pyros. Wealthy Man's trying to fish for one. Drake line of sights. They are exploiting the map effectively here. All 3 members of M2KC are split up. It's hard for Cloud9 to close in on any one of the 3. Looks like they're trying to go after Brain here with no Divine Shield. They catch him in a Mortal Coil. Do they have a follow-up stun? Cubsy's there. There's the hammer down. Ceruleum's in a ring. Wealthy Man gets the Dragon's Breath. The Ceruleum turns it around and polymorphs Cubsy. Cubsy breaks out of the polymorph thanks to the Singe magic of Chanimal. Great pet swapping by Chanimal to stop that chain. M2KC's opportunity to strike is now removed. Drake getting back on target here, waiting for that Drestigath. He's going to Fort Bruce so he can stay on target. They bait out the Vitality Conduit of Cubsy. Waiting for crowd control. They need a stunner, a poly on the Trinket, but in the meantime, Wealthy Man blinks in aggressively, gets a poly on Brain, hammers down on Ceruleum. No block for 2 more seconds, but they get intercepted by Drake. Beautiful denial with that leg. So Drake is absolutely owning right now. M2KC take game 2.
Jeez.
My goodness, Cloud9 and M2KC now tied up. M2KC exploding in that last game here. Peekaboo, break down those final moments for us.
Man, that was ridiculous. It looked like Cloud9 was on just leading the charge there at the end, but just Drake, massive double leg sweep there. Got the entire Fisted Fury combo with the pets out into the whirling Dragon Punch and decimated Wealthy Man. He tried to blink away at the very end there, but unfortunately, Cubsy had no immediate cooldowns to save him because they just forced the bop with the touch of death like 20 seconds earlier or so. So, damn, kind of a miscommunication too from Cloud9 potentially, because it looks like Cubsy might have had Avenging Wrath available. I just don't think they expected Wealthy Man to take nearly that much damage. So here it starts right here. Cubsy's pushing in, gets the Hodge on Ceruleum. He has the wings available, and then Wealthy Man literally gets 80 to 0'd virtually in a span of 2 globals. It seemed like that was, and then even with the Sheeps and Fears, he still died that fast. So that was kind of an unexpected death, and that was probably a lot of big crits there, is what it looked like.
All right, well, now these two teams are tied up in this best-of-5 series here, and Cloud9, it's now their map choice, likely to be continuing to play that Mage Lock, go to a larger map here, Zico. Is M2KC going to have a harder time winning game number 3, do you think?
Well, yeah. I think this is one of those series where it's going to go a little bit back and forth there on the maps, and honestly, M2KC, for them, they weren't even in the worst spot there. Like, they had the Ice Block back up on their mage, and they had a big mana lead. Like, Cubsy was down to very low mana, so I think that win condition will be removed on a larger map. And I don't know, I think they can avoid having to kind of play that aggro style and just go back to the Frost mage if they play on a big map.
So do you feel like this game that Zico, or this series, is going to go to game 5?
It could. I feel like that last game could have went in C9's favor as well, though. So it could. I think C9 wins the series, but could be a 3-1 or could be a 3-2.
I will surely find out. These guys are certainly putting up a good fight here against Cloud9. Always the most difficult team to beat here on the North American side of things. They're just so consistent on that Mage Lock. Cloud9 locking in Tolvaron Arena, not much of a surprise there. I'm pretty sure this is their most picked map. Both of these teams almost instantly locking in their composition here. M2KC and Cloud9 playing the same compositions that we saw for this last game here. Any thoughts on this, Super T, is now that we can see both comps on the board, and Tolvaron Arena will be our map choice. Any setups that we're going to be looking to see here from either of these teams?
Wolfman went back Frost, so their plan is to dampen on the big maps. Point. And then on the small maps, they're going to go fire and try and run them down because they're already not expected to be favored on the small map. So they can go fire, play aggressive, and then maybe they just cheese out a kill, I think is their main plan. And then they go back to the normal dampen Cloud9 strategy with Frost on big maps. So it makes a lot of sense. And it also makes M2KC maybe a little bit off footing because they're expecting a dampening game every time, and Cloud9 is going to mix it up game to game to game, and M2KC need to adapt to that. So they're going to be in a long haul here. Nice to see them able to tie it up though and take a game off Cloud9 so far in the series. They're showing a lot of potential.
And if what Super Tease is saying is correct, Peekaboo, if we do end up going to this deep dampening here on Tolvaron, which team do you think starts to fall apart quicker once we go deeper and deeper into dampening?
I think definitely Cloud9 should have an advantage the deeper into dampening it goes, but M2KC, with how strong Paladin cooldowns are and how much damage they're capable of doing, as we can see last game, it's hard to say. I think it just depends on what situations the teams put themselves in and how many cooldowns they have going in, and how much mana they have left, how many defenses are there, and how much kill potential there is. So the only way to find out is to see, and I guess we're about to find out soon.
That was a stat right there, 8-1, 89% win rate here on this map for C9. I don't remember who that one loss might have been against. I think it was maybe someone here on the desk. I'm not sure. We're going to see here, though, since that person is on the desk and not actually in the game, it's looking like this one could be in C9's favor. This is the upper bracket finals. We're tied up 1-1, and right now this is C9's match and composition pick. Take it away, Sid.
All right, the succubus strategy from Chanimal, sneaking that demon in onto enemy territory, but not finding a kill. It's actually Cubsy on the back foot, having to trade sacrifice here to that Drustagath of Drake. Australian and Wealthy Man meeting head-to-head in midfield there, headbutting for a moment with Dragon's Breath. Chanimal just loading up Immolate, switching back to the Imp. I love that Chanimal is always aware of what pet he's on and what situation it's best to have it, relaying his circle and his gateway as well if the fight manages to maneuver itself into an awkward position. Definitely some high-level awareness there. Never going to be caught off guard. Australian and Drake, they're actually able to cast on Wealthy Man. Australian finally getting pushed back here. Blinks out of the Frozen Orb. Nice blink timing there, but they've left Drake behind. Look at Drake. I mean, he's in a polymorph and probably a fear pretty soon. Looks like he's trying to roll out of the fight, but moving very slowly with the Frost Snares, managing to get out of line of sight. They see the Succubus. It's moving in at midfield. Is Chanimal gonna wait for the dots to fade on it, get it into stealth, and then move it in? He's repositioning it into the corner. He's actually sending the Succubus into enemy territory so his teammates don't need to overextend, but it's not invisible. They're actually just hitting the Succubus, actually resetting combustion too, potentially with that. So Chanimal's got to be careful with the way he maneuvers it in the future. He's choosing to send it in again. I would imagine Cerulean has some breakers to stop it, like the Dragon's Breath, so As long as Ceruleum's near the Succubus, he should be able to assist Brain. Chanimal's literally microing the Succubus, like, back and forth while he's attacking Drake. Maybe just trying to, like, throw M2KC off with it. Porting back, resummoning it, as it did actually end up dying. Frozen Orb, man, that was a high-value Frozen Orb, cleaving Ceruleum and Brain, and Drake's actually low. Oh, porting away, 10% and recovering. Now, Chanimal has a Succubus that's actually in stealth, so he's getting that right behind the enemy team. And let's see, is Cloud9 going to jump in and engage with the Succubus? Maybe an Infernal Stun in 7 seconds? They go for an all-in?
Looks kind of sketchy. I feel like they're just playing it a bit slower right now since they are back on the Frost Mage. Right now, full Succubus on the Brain. Shadow for Honest Ceruleum. Sheep off of that. Drake taking so much damage. Full Hammer of Justice. Is there any follow-up? Chaos Bolts are flying in. Nice Polymorph by Welcome Man to follow up that crowd control there. Looking to do as much damage as possible. Now they have an opportunity here to potentially attack Brain. I'm not sure. Yep, Chaos Bolts, Infernal on the Brain here. Frost Bolts coming in. Nice counter spell by Ceruleum. Peeling some of the damage away here, realizing the situation. M2KC will try to retreat behind the pillar. Great Frozen Orb once again by Welcome Man. Blizzard's the other side. They're both trapped in now. Infernal's killing him. Blizzard is killing him. They can't walk backwards because of the orb. And just under a lot of fire right now through all these cooldowns here. Just another Blizzard Welcome Man really kind of pushing a little bit. Welcome Man has the ability to be a lot more aggressive on a map like this because of how much more room he has to kite around and how big the pillars are. And Drake has to run so far away like he is right now, running back into the open, and the channel just starts teeing off on him. Seduce there on the Brain here. It gets kicked by Ceruleum or DB'd or something there, Dragon's Breath, to stop that one. Interesting decision with the... I've never seen a Succubus. I want to see something that would just be a crazy game-changing play because of it. That'd be awesome to see. And Chanimal once again also playing that the port instead of the Mortal Coil, opting to put it in the middle of the pillars back there, making sure he's gonna always have a way to get out just in case Drake does decide to leap out on him and sweep him up, and Ceruleum leaps in. But right now, just once again sitting behind the box here, trying to stabilize. They want to make sure that they use as little mana and as little cooldowns as possible when they're not actually attacking, because those are technically wasted cooldowns if that does happen. So right now, Drake here once again trying to push into Chanimal. Chanimal instantly retreating. Cubs are using that freedom to make sure Chanimal can kite away swiftly there. Right now, dampening is coming in fairly soon here. Chanimal's Infernals come up in about 40 seconds, so we probably won't see any big all-ins until that happens. Right now, Welcome Man caught that Hodge here. 50% HP on him using that Temporal Shield here. Really trying to get aggressive here. So we're going to see Welcome Man on the left side of the pillar here, and Chanimal might try to cross on the other side here so they can actually attack him from both sides. But right now, Welcome Man's still taking a decent amount of damage here. Drake trying to do as much as he can, be as high value as possible. Full Sheep on the Brain here. Welcome Man actually getting aggressive here with these blinks. Counterspell on Ceruleum as well here. Actually, Succubus on Ceruleum as well off that ground. Drake full Sheep. Everyone's getting triple CC. Brain caught in the Hammer of Justice. Opt to use that human trinket out of that. He will be safe here. Wow, that was a nice setup there with the Succubus right there. Triple CC it again.
This is hilarious. So Chanimal, you see, if you look at the Succubus, it has like a little fire dot on it. Ceruleum's trying to keep Ignite on it so it doesn't get those restelves. And Chanimal just microing the pet back and forth, trying to seduce Brain and fear Ceruleum at the same time. Now, Chanimal has snuck in his pet behind the pillar, and Ceruleum, he's going to be ready to try to CC it. And Chanimal's trying to set up a cross CC of his own. And look, Sheep on Ceruleum, they're trying to go for the Seduce there. They don't want Ceruleum to be able to stop the Seduce, because that's going to allow them to move in freely and get a clean setup. That is what the Succubus is there for. And now it is in stealth, so this could be the play here. If they can get some CC. There it is. Cross CC, Fear, and Seduce. Ceruleum blinks over, gets the Dragon's Breath, and there it is. He gets the pre-Vitality Conduit because of the fact that Ceruleum Dragon's Breath to Seduce. But if they can do that, get in a little bit quicker, that's what they're trying to play for right now on C9, waiting for M2KC to leave this pillar.
All right, let's see if they can pull it off. I mean, if anything, it's keeping M2KC on the back foot and getting the game into deep dampening, where this poke damage is going to be very relevant. So aggressively and defensively, it's going to work out for them. They've got Ceruleum isolated, but not long enough that they're going to take him down here, I think, with Brain's big heal coming in there on the Divine Favor. Drake's charging in towards Chanimal. Ceruleum attacking Wealthy Man. Is Cloud9 going to just choose to retreat, or are they going to stay here at this pillar and let Ceruleum get those free casted fireballs out? Has Ceruleum changed his build? No, he's still running 4 Gushing Wounds, so getting a bit more instant cast damage with his build in this particular matchup. I think Cubsy, has he changed his honor talents maybe around to try and get the shadow resistance aura? No, he hasn't, so Gushing Wounds is going to get some nice value here. Australium still just casting fireballs. Drake's trying to push in, but this is a dangerous map to go into enemy territory like this. He's very far forward at the moment. Combustion from Ceralium. Rotational combustion. Pop the paralyzed Drestigath. Looking for a surprise kill. Stunning up Cubsy on his trinket. Nice play here by Drake. But can they get enough damage to close it out? No, Vitality Conduit comes in. Chanimal is going to stabilize. Ceralium needs to pull away from the fight, but Drake got left behind. He's in poly after poly, potentially fear into fear as well in the near future. Brain gets polymorphed. Wealthy Man getting aggressive. Cubsy's pushing in. I think they want to go after Brain, though, on this assault if they can get there in time. Not able to. Ring of Peace stopped Cubsy's assault. He's still going in for it, though. Hammers down on Brain. Everyone's in crowd control. Divine Protection. Is it going to be enough here for a Chaos Bolt into a Shadow Fury Cataclysm? Brain down at half. Don't want to have any going down moments like we saw in game number 1 here. So managing to stay alive throughout that swap. But you can tell that Cloud9 are unafraid, really able to feel out multiple targets in this matchup. And at any moment, M2KC need to be ready to get hit hard.
Yeah, dampening finally starting to ramp up here. What about 19% going on 20 here? This is where Cloud9 really starts to begin to rot the health bars of the enemy. But right now, Wealthman, lots of damage here. 40% here. Could die to a big Drestigath cooldown here. Paralysis onto Cubsy. Drake very in right now. Probably is going to replace the port on the pillar, which I think he might here. If they do readjust here, they're either going to send the push in right now. Nice double leg sweep here on the Chanimal and Wealthy Man. Combustion has been used by Ceralium. Chanimal opting to trinket port away from that. Great choice by him. Able to save that unending resolve, which is the most important cooldown as time ramps on here. So Drake, hammer adjusts on him. He does opt to use that human trinket out, trading out that fortifying brew. Sheep onto Brain, Striving counterspelled, locked out. Fear from Chanimal onto Brain once again. You're still lots of damage now. Chanimal teeing off on every single member of M2KC back here. Major frozen orb, Shadow Fury as well. Drake and Striving pushing out to save their healer here, trying to get aggressive once again and get some pressure in their favor. Right now, things have restabilized. Middle of the map, Drake and Chanimal trading blows. Right now, Chanimal actually taking a lot of damage here, moving back towards the gateway. Demon Soul has been traded out here. Wealthy Man in the middle of that, trying to protect Chanimal, realizing the danger here, porting back. Chanimal not getting too much value out of that Demon Soul, unable to find any Chaos Bolts on any targets there. Everyone is waiting. It's always good to sit back, especially as the damage rounds up, because any damage you take now is very important because it matters in 5 more minutes or 3 more minutes in the future. So right now, Chanimal just waiting for those big cooldowns to come back before they really go for another aggressive push. Drake in the middle of the map, eating that Hammer of Justice here. No Fortifying Brew available. Does have the Diffuse Magic and Touch of Karma. Not sure if he wants to use it here. Right now, Chanimal Wolfman still crushing it. Ceralium and Brain both sitting here at the pillar. The Chanimal still does have the Imp pet out. We can see it in the middle there as well. Always ready to dispel any potential CCs that might hit his healer. Maybe even his teammate right now to play a little aggressive. We'll see. Once again, Wealthy Man always there with the frozen orbs on the pillar, trying to get those blizzards out, trying to keep the pressure rolling, making Brain have to constantly spend mana and worry about what's going on.
Yeah, and now Cubsy is in a paralyzed. Chanimal's in a leg sweep. Cubsy, you're going to use the sacrifice. He trades out the Vitality Conduit. Is going to be enough. Looks like it will be here. Cubsy's free healing here in the back. A little bit risky positioning here from M2KC. They're finally committing. Brain is going to get sheeped. They get another sheep here. Ceralium, though, is going to try to shut it down with a sheep onto Wealthy Man. Now, Wealthy Man is actually going after the healer, just CCing the DPS, leaving Drake on his own with Chanimal and Cubsy. And this is a fantastic situation. This was the Touch of Death setup coming out from M2KC, and they haven't forced a single thing yet. Cubsy could just easily throw out his sacrifice and his trinket at any point he needs to. And right now, it is time to duck for cover. Chanimal is angry, and he is looking for a few Chaos Bolts. One connects onto Drake. That's going to be an immediate Touch of Karma, and we're going to see Cubsy. He's actually going to choose to not use that Blessing of Protection to remove that Touch of Karma. He only has the one, so that means he is playing the ultimate sacrifice, and he wants to really hold on to it for a special occasion, maybe even defensively, if I know Cubsy right in that situation. And now, once again, M2KC going to duck back, wait for their cooldowns, wait for their leg sweep. They have it all up, and then they're going to wait and try to get in. Drake, though, he only has the Diffuse Magic. He needs to be the tank of the team, and he doesn't have too many tanky abilities right now, especially at the 39% dampening. I'm not sure what they can do to counterspell Chanimal. Here we go. Brain is pushing in, looking for the CC, but I think he's going to get polyed. No, Wealthy Man actually gets shut down there. Very nice job by Ceralium. Now, Ceralium looking for a sheep here onto Cubsy, but Cubsy, Vitality Conduit, he has a sacrifice as well. Drake is the one losing this exchange. He has to trade out the Diffuse Magic. No Touch of Karma. He's just stuck in midfield. How is he going to survive? Brain, one more second on the sheep. Might need to trade out the sacrifice. He's trying to greet it, but he trades out the Vitality Conduit. The wings coming out as well. That should be enough here to keep him alive. He gets counterspelled. Big plays here coming out of Wealthy Man. He's going after Brain, though, instead of Drake. I think he could have killed Drake there.
That was definite. I mean, maybe he just outright kills Brain still, but yeah, that Ray of Frost on Drake, it would have killed Drake with the counter spell. So maybe a miscommunication on the targeting. Maybe Wealthyman thought he had more damage than he actually did, but a kill opportunity going to slip away for Cloud9 there. Now they're still in a commanding position. As long as that Ineffable Truth procs for Cubsy, that sacrifice is going to be coming off cooldown pretty quickly. Cubsy anticipating an attack here, going for Avenging Wrath, bringing in a Poly. Drake in trouble again on the run. Big flurry snipe around the corner. Drake line of sighting. Cubsy rolls up for a Hammer of Justice. Ceralium's now out in midfield. Channel tries to go for a fear, gets shut down by a counterspell. Blizzard on the pillar, cleaving down the team here. Brain is really going to struggle deep into damp, and he gets dispelled on his Divine Favor. Double leg sweep by Drake, though. Nice punish. Can they turn it around? Cubsy still has Avenging Wrath up for a couple more seconds, so he should be able to sustain Chanimal. Cloud9 pull back in that defensive posture, looking for poke damage. Drake has to retreat. Now they've got the entirety of M2KC on the pillar. Blizzard's going to cleave in here on the left. Rain of Fire likely on the right in the near future as well, and that damage is really going to start to sink in. Double Shadow Fury setting up for a Chaos Bolt. Rain's got Avenging Wrath. He's recovering. Drake's trying to push out. His defensives are up. They've got an opportunity here with Fort Brew, Diffuse, and Karma to try and make a power play. Drake's going to pop that Fort Brew to stay on target here. Try and take down Chanimal, but Cubsy's Avenging Wrath comes up in 2. Brain's in a full poly on his. Drake could be in trouble. Chaos Bolt's flying in. There's the Karma traded for Drake. Is Wealthy Man going to block it off? Would be pretty aggressive for him to do it, but Cubsy's in a stun here. He might have to block anyways. Combustion popped off there and did a ton of damage. Temporal down at half. Cubsy finally out of crowd control. Brain now in a fear. Ceralium getting blasted back, trying to get out of the line of sight of the Chaos Bolts. Temporal hit both of them, healing himself back up to full. But Cloud9 once again have that choke hold position here. Porting back. Drake has to switch over to Wealthy Man, likely having to retreat. Chaos Bolt in the sky. Drake line of sight's barely in time. Oh no, but Brain gets counterspelled by Wealthy Man. Diffuse magic from Drake, trying to stabilize. You don't want to pop Diffuse when you're at the pillar like this, though. He's going to lose all ability to play aggressive as a result of that.
Wow, very, very scary situation for M2KC right now. Dampening 55%. This is where the problem comes in. Dampening keeps getting higher and higher, and the longer M2KC waits to get an aggressive push, the more cooldowns that Cloud9 will have for when they try to push out the pillar. Once again, Chanimal opting for the Succubus pet here, moving it way back into their starting gates here. Right behind Brain, potentially looking for a Succubus onto the Hero. Drake running into Chanimal here. Locks him on the Fear Cast there. Can do something. Legacy. Chanimal cannot wall for 1 second here. Unending Resolve. Cubsy opting to Trinket Sacrifice there on the Polymorph and Blind. Massive value there. Brain caught into a full Succubus. Instantly stopped by Shrian. Well done by him. Chanimal going back to the Impure. Playing careful. So that was a very good push by M2KC. They were able to force Cubsy's Trinket and the Hand of Sacrifice as well. And they did it when Chanimal had no Infernal as well. So good push right there. Still got to get the pressure going. Wealthy Man realizing that they might be falling slightly behind when that happens, trying to get as much damage as possible into all 3 players. Full sheep onto Brain here. So I am caught in the middle of the map here. Chanimal and Wealthy Man going to town on him here. Wealthy Man once again in the resheep follow-up there. Is there anything off that? Potentially a fear. Chanimal in the middle. Drake pushing way away from the pillar here. This is a very scary situation. Brain pushing in a paralysis onto Cubs here. Will he get the hammer just to follow it up? Brain looking for it. Gets it. Full duration. Wealthy Man locked here. Chanimal gating away, trying to kite using that spell reflection there. Cubsy instantly opting to trade out the Divine Shield here. Lots of cooldowns being forced right now by M2KC here. This is very, very good. Instantly retreating back to the pillar. Strime still no ice block for the next 25 seconds or so. Drake, with virtually every single cooldown except that Fortifying Brew here, needs to get away from this Frozen Orb. This is a very good situation here. M2KC needs to get a solid setup here. They need to get crowd control into Cubsy. They've got to stop Wilkman, and they have to get back to Chanimal. Especially in deep dampening, it's always a bait to go mage. You want to always be going on the Warlock.
Yeah, I don't know if Cubsy actually had to use his bubble right there. Chanimal ported out of the fist and then gated to safety, and then he was spamming out fears on the Windwalker as well. So I feel like Chanimal was actually kind of safe in that situation due to his kiting, but now they have no outs, and Cubsy's getting swamped too. Big damage. Drake's not even there. If Drake just goes there and presses dress, he's dead. But Drake going after Chanimal, and that is what could have been a sure kill, slips through the fingers of the Mew Kitty Cat. And now, once again, this game is wide open. Cubsy has no trinket, no bubble. He does have a trinket coming up, and he's going to have a blessing of protection. He's got his wings right now, and it's all about Wealthy Man. This guy has to create pressure on his own right now. If he can't do it, then the next time they push in over to Shanimal, it's going to be an unending resolve, or maybe Cubsy's cooldown, so he needs to try to be aggressive. He has both of his ice blocks right now, and that's why you're seeing Wealthy Man being kind of the front liner here for his team. Nice interrupt there on the Flying Serpent kick. The Fears are coming out. They're trying to get good pressure here. Blessing of Protection comes out immediately onto the Karma here, but that's exactly what Drake wanted. He wants to use that Touch of Death with that Fort Brew, and I think he's going to go for it right now as that Karma hands. There it is. Big trouble for Chanimal. They need to deal with Drake right now. He ports away to safety. He gets punted back by the Ring of Peace, and he uses Unending Resolve immediately on full HP. Full CC onto Ceralium, but can they get something onto Cubsy? If they do, it could just be the game here for C9. Drestigoth connects. Big damage still onto Chanimal. Cubsy trinkets out of the Paralyze, and that's going to be the push over here. Now they need to force something here on Ceralium. No, Chanimal just in massive trouble. You might just die here to the sheer pressure. No CDs left, and C9, they're going to have 2 losses on Tolvir Arena, and this series, it is wide open.
Wow, Cloud9 now on the back foot here. M2KC on match point 2-1 here. They managed to beat Cloud9 on Tolvaron. I believe they had an 89% win rate on that map, and now they are certainly feeling the pressure here on the side of Cloud9, potentially dropping down to the lower bracket. And what exactly happened there, Zico? How did M2KC beat Cloud9 on their map choice?
Honestly, there was just, I don't say this a lot about C9, but there was a couple of sloppy moments there. I really think Cubsy completely wasted his last bubble when he really didn't need to. And I think also, if Wealthman just pressed Ray of Frost on Drake, I think Drake was actually dead in that situation. They had a full counter spell, and then he brought Brain to like 20%, and Drake got, dropped to like 20%. If they focused their fire at the same target, I think that could have been what they needed. And of course, that Blessing of Protection as well at the end. Like, I'm sorry, Cubsy, but that Blessing of Protection was he was baiting hard with Karma.
That was bad. I think that was a really big throw there for that.
You just threw it out offensively when he was next to a pillar, and he was like, okay, Fort Brew Touch of Death, excellent. Let's go and win the game, boys.
All right, well then I guess at this point, do we just expect Cloud9 to choose another big comp or big map, play Mage Lock again, and maybe just clean up their gameplay a little bit, Peekaboo? Is that the move? Oh, that was not on purpose. That was not on purpose. I swear to God, that was not on purpose.
I think that might be. I'm sure they're definitely. I think there were some things that happened earlier in the game that weren't that great, but I think the thing that they're talking about right now is that Blessing of Protection on the Touch of Karma at almost 70% dampening. It's such an irrelevant spell at that point, and they weren't going to kill him. They were in no position. There was no damage. You could easily hide away. If they had that Blessing of Protection 10 seconds later for the Touch Death, it would have been a totally different game, and they probably would have beat them, because at that point Drake would be so far in, and the Blessing of Protection takes time to remove first of all, and then Drake would be stuck out there. And then I think if that last 30 seconds went a little different for Cloud9, that they could have left winning that game. But now they're in a rough spot, and I don't think they'll switch their composition, because that game was literally came down to that last 30 seconds, that play there. So I think they just got to tighten up and clean it up and lock in, and they can keep this series moving.
I mean, they're in a really scary spot here, Cloud9. If they lose this next game, they drop down in the lower bracket. They face off against Charlotte Phoenix, and that's the team that they got 3-0'd by earlier, Zico. And they must be a little bit scared right now, which I'm sure Cloud9 is not used to feeling.
I think the mentality that C9 has is probably, well, we got to beat everybody anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, they should be kind of scared because of 2 reasons. Number 1, they can play Mage Windwalker as well down there. And number 2, they lost to their Rogue Mage Pally as well. So it's definitely a team that can beat them, Charlotte Phoenix. So C9, I don't know what they're going to do here for this next game. Are they going to play Mage Lock again, Asherman's Fall? And then after that, well, what do you do in Game 5? Do you go back to the Fire Mage Lock? Do you bring in Snuts, X Factor? Maybe you play Rogue Mage? Maybe you play Windwalker Mage Pally Mirror for the final game potentially? I'm not sure what you even do if you win that next match. And it looks like we're setting up Asherman's for a Frost Mage Lock Paladin for C9. But even if they win this, I'm like, They're going to have to do something crazy on a small map to actually win the series here.
I hope we see Snuts. I'd love to see him play today in the finals.
Game 5 Snuts.
Yeah.
Coming in
It's
clutch.
definitely not happening here. There's no way it's
Nah.
happening.
Mirror matchups, nuts. I mean, they play this comp
Ooh.
a little bit. I mean, they got one of the best mages in the world. They got one of the best healers, and they got one of the best monk players. So I mean, a mirror matchup, you know, come in clutch, throw him a curveball. I'm not sure if M2KC plays a lot of mirrors or anything, but you know, I don't think that'd be an option. But that'd be crazy if they pulled that out and won. That'd be like a hero story. So.
Yeah, it would definitely be cool to see here in this game. Cloud9 versus M2KC. We're going to be seeing Mage Lock once again with Wealthy Man sticking to Frost Mage, Cubsy on that Holy Paladin as well. And we're on Ashermains. But yeah, I mean, the question really is here, if they win this next game on Ashermains, there's not really much more they can do. Zico touched on it a little bit. Subtees, I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Where do they go from here if Cloud9 does manage to pull off this next victory? What do we expect to see from them?
I feel like it's probably Dalaran for M2KC. For the last map pick, definitely not runes, even though I would like that. That would make me happy. It's definitely not. Maybe Tigers too. Tigers or Dalaran, pretty safe overall for their comp. They're not switching off Windwalker Mage, that's for sure. M2KC are playing that the entire time, so they can pick a map that's not favorable for Mage Lock, and they'll be in a good spot, I think.
So I'm curious as well, in a live ladder situation here, Peekaboo, how do these two matchups, how does this matchup typically go, Fire Windwalker versus Mage Lock? Is it just kind of Mage Lock dominating this composition on live?
It's probably pretty similar because Cloud9 and M2KC, both these players actually got 495 eye level. They've got every socket in the game. They've got all the best trinkets. They've got all the S's. They've got everything you could possibly want. So it's probably a pretty similar matchup. They just might not be taking it as serious because it's more of a ladder game. So hard to say. Probably either team wins on the ladder, but here seems like it just comes down to the wire every time, and it's anyone's game.
Yep, certainly is. Cloud9 here looking to tie it up, but M2KC on match point.
All right, and let's see what they decide to do here. Wealthyman blinks in aggressively, trying to get a polymorph. He finds it. Ceruleum, the target of choice. He klept the temporal shield. Hodge on Ceruleum is going to force out his trinket early on, so not a bad start here for C9, but what are they going to have to pay for it? Is that a Seduce that just came out onto Brain? I think it was a Seduce and he got immediately a Ring of Peace or something, because I saw him enter some kind of CC, but it was just gone immediately. So nicely done there by Drake. And it looks like C9, they're just going to get Ceruleum's every man for himself ratio. It's a 3-minute CD trinket. Kind of just get that for free essentially here. They don't really have to do anything. Just use Wings. And I mean, let's be honest, Wings doesn't really have a cooldown. Cubsy's got them in 10 seconds again. They vanish Fear into a Sheep. And here we go. Big push on the Ceruleum. And there's the overlap coming out. Bubble Sacrifice and Ice Block. M2KC shaking in their boots.
All right, Cloud9 there with a big right hook, pulling multiple cooldowns out from M2KC. If they get more assaults like that, I mean, they're going to close this out pretty quickly, and they're kind of just bodying M2KC here at the pillar. Wealthy Man is just standing right on top of them, blasting Ceruleum. Brain has to Vitality Conduit. They polymorph Brain. Oh, nice. Actually ends up breaking to damage there. Might have been the Infernal. It was pretty close by. Temporal Shield still from Ceruleum, soaking up some hits here. Wealthy Man's Icy Veins is active. He's going to be a big threat, but his healer's in a polymorph. Luckily, Cubsy did Vitality Conduit prior to it, so Wealthy Man heals up to full. He's blasting away at Ceruleum, man. He wants to take this to a game 5 right now. They're swapping to Brain out in midfield, catching him in a Hammer of Justice, no Divine Shield. He's way out in midfield, getting absolutely shredded. Is he going to go down on 10% with Avenging Wrath? Ring of Peace interrupts Chaos Bolt for a moment. Brain is struggling to recover as he's trying to make his way back to a pillar and out of line of sight, man. Cloud9 looking for lethal, and anybody on this team.
Wow, that was insane. I thought the game was about to end right there. That was like the worst possible situation M2KC could have been in here. But right now, they're turning around the pressure on the channel here. Lots of damage. Got him about 50% HP. Cubsy trying to top him up from the back end here, doing a good job as well. Still, though, on the side of M2KC, they're missing their Ice Block. They're missing their Divine Shield. They're missing their Avenging Wrath. Like, I want to see Cloud9 push in right now. Double Blinding Light right there, trying to peel it away. Brain caught into a full hammer just as well. Channel fearing up surrounding right there. Big Chaos Bolts are landing here. Wealthy Man all over him, not letting them get away here. Polymorph on Australium stuck in the middle of the map here. Cloud9 been in absolute control of this game here. It seems like they're doing way more damage than normal, and they're just moving through them right now. It seems like M2KC is a little off with their positioning here. They kind of keep getting caught 45 yards away from each other, just like this. Drake sheeped across the map, Brain having to push out the dispel, and it puts all of them in a bad situation where they get teed off on by Cloud9. And right now, Wealthy Man on the other side, Channel on the other side of the pillar as well. They got both angles of attack right now. Sorayam trying to peel the damage away. Spam sheeping Wealthy Man here, realizing they need to get out of here. They need to stabilize. Right now, Drake shutting down Channel, trying to stop some of these fears, trying to slow them down. Instantly, Brain switching pillars here. They're just trying to get away. I think with the hectic start that they had, they've got to just slow the game down. They've got to restart. They've got to get back to where they're comfortable. They don't want to randomly get killed without ice block. They don't want to die without a bubble. So they just got to try to peel until those cooldowns in. But right now, Cubsy running in full hammer just on the Brain here. Solo Shadowfury off that. No bubble over 2 seconds. Oh my goodness. 2 seconds! What? Triple Dragon's Breath. Or Master has used triple sweep from Drake. Wow. Very, very close there.
Unbelievable. That Brain is living up to his name here. The most unkillable paladin in the game. Does it again. Has a couple of seconds left on his bubble, and then he's like, you know what? I'm just going to save it in case Sorayam might need it later. I'm just going to walk out of that one. Basically staring death in the face right there. Cannibal now, still, it's not often we see C9 basically running at a team like a bunch of Terminators here. They're gonna go after Brain again. They don't know. Brain has a surprise waiting for them in his pocket, and it's Divine Protection and Divine Shield just ready for him. Isn't Divine Protection a 60 second CD? He literally just pressed it. That thing is going to be back in no time for him. And I don't think Brain is going to be very killable right now. I think the pushes that they did on Sorayam, that was the play here. Shanimal taking a lot of damage, but they do break out the chain, get the sacrifice out in the nick of time. And I think this is what they're doing right here is exactly what they need to do. Wealthy Man going after Sorayam, gets a sheep here onto Brain. Nice temporal shield there, and now they want to go after Brain here. Let's see, he gets counterspelled on a Blizzard, which is actually nice for them if they can keep the CC chain going here. I think they're going to go after Sorayam here. Blink and Sheep. He loses the 50-50 Singe there, gets the Sheep and not the Frost Nova. And now once again, game is looking kind of even. Both teams just kind of run back here, wait for their cooldown. Sorayam just got his block back. Brain has all of his cooldowns back, and C9 have all of their cooldowns back. The game literally just started.
Yep, Dampening has entered the arena, reducing healing over time. Cubsy crowd controlled. Channel the target. He ports back really far away. Drake in hot pursuit. Really going after him here. Blinding Light, Cubsy trinkets. He's got Avenging Wrath, big heals. Channel's going to be fine. Sorayam and Brain reposition out of line of sight of Channel and Wealthy Man. Drake still leading the charge. Just kind of being a damage sponge with full versatility, while Sorayam with some gushing wounds mixed in tries to get some damage out. Wealthy Man slips in, finds a poly. Sorayam pre-temporals the assault. They're waiting for the temporal. Now they are going to lay in. 3 seconds left on the fear. Will they get a cauterize and a block here? Triple Infernal stun. They could swap to Brain as well, cleaving them down with the Frozen Orb, but Avenging Wrath up for Brain. His team is not even going to get dented through that powerful cooldown, and effectively has no cooldown with Ineffable Truth reducing it periodically. So Drake is Brain's going to more than easily heal through his assault. However, in a polymorph he can't. Nice find by Wealthy Man. Drake the target. He Fort Bruce. He's going to be taking reduced damage. They could swap to Sorayam. He's in midfield. Not finding it. The crowd control's over. Double leg sweep. Are they going to swap to Cubsy? Looks like they want to go after Chanimal. Cubsy into another stun. Chanimal going to trade Unending Resolve here. A major push there for M2KC, as Unending Resolve does not get reduced by Ineffable Truth. Chanimal is not running that, so that is a very important cooldown to get. But Brain out in midfield, blasted down. Can they find his Divine Shield here? He's gambling a lot here. Okay, he's not going to risk it. Divine Shield trades out. Brain stays alive.
Man, yeah, kind of an early time for Channel to press that Unending Resolve there. That is a massive cooldown, but I think he wants to try to get more value because he most likely will get more uses out of that spell if he does opt to use it a little early there. Luckily, they were able to force the Divine Shield out of Brain there. Maybe a counterspell could have ended the game there. Right now, M2KC looking to try to get back aggressive with Channel, cutting right back to the middle of the map. So Wealthy Man has as much time as possible to try to do as much damage as he can. Full Sheep on a Brain here, trying to do damage on the Drake here. Full Hammer of Justice right there behind the box. So far from Brain. Resheep from Wealthy Man. Great job by him. Sorayam trying to peel away, trying to spam Polymorph Wealthy Man to stop the damage here. Drake opting to use that diffuse magic there. Looking to cut away. He's got a line of sight these Chaos Bolts right now. He doesn't want to die to Wealthy Man. Incy, back him up. Nice double Elixir once again onto Channel and Welcome Banner. Any CC onto Cubsy would be good. Looks like they're not able to get any follow-up there. Channel getting locked out there, opting to port away. Welcome in once again caught into the open here now in a 2v1 situation. Channel slowly getting back to him. Another sheep on the Drake here, getting a reset. Full fear on the Drake, no dispel. That's the thing about Mage Lock. You're getting sheeped, you get dispelled, you get full feared, and then you get sheeped again, and you get feared again, and it's brutal. And right now, full sheep on Starline, switches it to Brain. Cloud9 getting aggressive, pushing in here, maybe looking for the Hammer Justice on either Brain or Drake here. Let's see. Counterspell on the channel, paralysis on Cubsy, triple CC from M2KC, completely like steamrolling Cloud9 as they run here. This is very, very good, shutting down that defensive push by them. Brain slowly stabilizing behind the box here. Welcome Man is right in their face right now. He is on top of the Paladin, on top of the Mage. Everything is rotting. Brain is in no line of sight to dispel Drake. Drake is caught in CC for the next 10 plus seconds if Brain cannot get to him here. Full Hammer Justice on the Brain. Pre-Vitality Conduit, well done. Cerulean playing it safe here. Drake porting back in here, using that, so he now has no way to get out if they do start attacking him here. Double Shadow Free by Channel, half a sheep, full fear on the Brain, lots of damage here. Cloud9 trying to keep the pressure going on Australian, potentially forcing that cauterize here. Double Infernal Stun. Is there any CC on the Brain? DR Fear, Australian still half HP. Avenging Wrath has been used by Brain, trying to counteract all the pressure going out. Drake also using low sheep on the channel here, trying to slow him down, trying to stop him. Cerulean just taking so much damage, retreating by the pillar here. Welcome in, blinking in. Cubsy running on the other side here, looking to get a full Hammer Justice on the Brain here. Any polymorph to follow it up, anything at all here. Still so much pressure going out.
Ooh, that was a nice... You see how Wealthy Man cancels his poly right there? And right after, Chanimal dismissed his Infernal that was on top of Brain right there. So Wealthy Man realizing, hey, there's an Infernal about to break my poly. I'm going to cancel it. Chanimal dismiss it. Gets the poly. Fortunately, they didn't really net themselves any real cooldowns at the back end of that. But this is the type of synergy that they have on Cloud9. They're just pixel perfect in their setups. And once again, now Drake getting blasted here. He's going to trade out the Fort Brew, try to buy himself a little bit of uptime, but he's forced to port out to safety here. And now, once again, they're pincered behind the pillar. And Cubsy, this is a great time for him to drink, and that's going to force Drake out in the open. He gets sheep on his leg sweep. Chanimal actually just trinkets and porch away there. Doesn't want to mess around with Cerulean's combustion right there. And I think it's a pretty fair trade. But now, there's an opening for C9 to get aggressive. What are they going to do? Wealthy Man looking for the sheep. He gets it. Cerulean temp shields the first Chaos Ball right there. No more CC though. It doesn't look like Wealthy Man trying to find the poly. He gets it late. Cubsy breaks out of the Ring of Frost with that Singe magic. And now they're going after Brain here potentially. No, they get a Fear follow-up. Getting one Chaos Ball there on Cerulean, but no avail there with that defensive positioning that Cerulean has. And now once again, it's going to be Chanimal on the back foot.
All right, let's see if they can keep him on the back foot. Drake trying to retreat at the moment here. Cubsy gets counterspelled. Could be an opportunity, but they're not in a position to get any damage out. Cerulean's getting blasted. Drake rolls up. He's trying to reconnect. They interrupt Chanimal for a moment, but Avenging Wrath is up. Cubsy should power through here. Dark Soul. Chanimal's a big threat. Fear and a massive Chaos Bolt onto Drake. He karmas it. Is Cubsy going to fall for the bait here on the Karma? Last time it cost Chanimal's life. He's not going to be using that blessing of protection on Karma anytime soon, only for the touch of death and deep dampening, I believe, to stop that massive, overwhelming amount of damage that we saw outdo them in Tolvaron Arena. Now, double leg sweep. Drake rolls up for a paralyze. Beautiful setup for the combustion here, trying to power through. Chanimal still is just porting out. Drake ports out. Both teams in a neutral position. Mana about even between these teams, not really going to be a problem. Holy Paladin's not usually struggling with mana. The Divine Revelations Azerite trait always granting the mana back. So deeper into dampening we go here. Wealthy Man's interrupted. Cubsy's got Avenging Wrath up again, so he's chilling. Infernal's called in. Drake pre-Fort Brews it. Nice play by Drake here. Fist of Fury flying, going after Wealthy Man, the closer wizard. Not able to play out in the deep end with Cloud9 there too much. Needs a scuba suit to make sure he doesn't end up drowning. Pulling out for a moment. Chanimal down to half. Cubsy looks like he might be drinking just in case, I guess. Mana's a problem, but he might regret it. Huge damage onto Chanimal. It's match point for M2KC. Cubsy's in crowd control. How are they going to respond? He's being greedy, not trinketing. He gets the Vitality Conduit up. That's going to stabilize with Fears onto Drake. Greed is good in this position. And Cloud9 do secure the fact that they will not be losing on mana now.
Man, that goodbye Chanimal holding on to that unending resolve. Almost died to that big Jurassic off by Drake there in the Reaping Flame from Cerulean. Very, very close there. But now Chanimal starting to pull back, dampening almost at 50%. Brain pushing in full stun onto Chanimal here. Wealthy Man locked out. Cubsy full blinded. He is so low. The trinket sacrifice has been used there. Is it going to be enough? They're swapping to Cubsy. So much damage on him. Maybe forced out Divine Protection. We'll see here. Wealthy Man doing everything he can to peel Chanimal, trying to stop the bleeding here. M2KC just running over Cloud9 right now. Cubsy has a lot of work to do. There's a lot of kicks available here. Cubsy slowly starting to cast up here. Channel has that big demon so available. Drake taking a lot of damage too on the back end here. Brain trading out that Avenging Wrath here, trying to stabilize his team here. They want to stay aggressive. They want to push right now. They know that Cloud9 is on the back foot. They're running out of peels for DRs here. They got to keep the pressure up here. Drake getting full Hodge right here. Channel gating away. Great timing on that. Cubsy helping Channel once again get away there. Drake with lots of cooldowns available to use here. The Fort Brew, the Karma, they can go very aggressive, Ring of Peace, and they really want to keep pushing here. So and Drake both middle of the map here. This is where Cloud9 can maybe turn the tables on him here. Right now, fearing up Drake, trading out that Fort Brew, so I'm stuck in the middle. Sheeps and Fears all over everybody here. Slowing him down with that Frozen Orb here. Cubsy does have that Bubble Sacrifice available. That's one of their main defensive cooldowns left. And Chanimal right now using that Demon Soul, looking to force some cooldowns here. Brain pushing out to the lap. Does Chanimal get a fear? Full fear onto Brain here. They need to get pressure onto Drake or Brain. Something right now. Full Sheep onto Brain to follow it up. Drake trading out the Touch of Karma here. They actually use the offensive bop on the Touch of Karma here. They really want to get aggressive, forcing that to fuse magic as well. Maybe a potential swap to Brain here since he is next to everybody here. Chanimal right now, yep, attacking Brain. Drake pushing back in. Maybe a massive leg sweep here. Drake has it here. Great fear by Chanimal, denying that. Double leg sweep is dangerous here. Shadow Fury has been used here. Infernals as well. Big Chaos Bolts coming in. Great counter for Volume. Stopping all the damage. Brain still trying to recover here with the Avenging Wrath. Double sweep once again onto Chanimal. Welcome man. Cubsy caught in the Dragon Breath. Full Ring of Frost here. Chanimal in porting away. Drake is on top of him. Great position by him. Ring of Peace back. Cubsy and Chanimal so scared right now. Cubsy has cooldowns to use it. Is he going to use them? Hopefully he's going to hold on to it. We'll see. Slowly stabilizing right now.
Nicely greeted there once again by Cubsy. And that drink that he got earlier is paying its weight in, mana mostly. Brain right now on a mana deficit here. And here we go. Here's the setup. Drake has no Touch of Karma, nothing here. Brain, what are you going to do? Drake rolls away, gets into line of sight of Brain, and Brain is going to be able to top him up. But here at 58% dampening, things are not getting easy. And Cubsy immediately takes this situation to sit down and drink. He's going to top himself. He's going to top his teammates. And at this point, he's going to drink very, very closely here so he can immediately try to press a Vitality Conduit or a Sacrifice here if he needs to. He's sitting down. He's getting a lot of ticks here. And Cubs is going to basically be at full mana. C9 have secured themselves the late game. The only way they lose is if Chanimal gets randomly blasted 22 seconds on that Unending Resolve. Drake gets polyed there on his Touch of Death. It does nothing. And now Cubs needs to be quick here with the Sacrifice. He gets interrupted on the heal with the Paralyze. They get the Hour of Justice. He trinkets out of it and he drops the Sacrifice there. No overlaps here from C9. Excellently played, but still no offense. They get a sheep on the Brain, but nobody's taking damage. Surround's on one side behind the pillar. Drake is on the other side behind the pillar. Now the Sacrifice is over on Chanimal. He's getting back onto target. And believe it or not, mana or not, this is not looking good for C9. They have only one damage reduction cooldown right now, which is that Unending Resolve. Outside of that, they have nothing. And that is a great Ring of Peace. Full sheep onto Cubs. He gets singed. Re-sheep comes out from Cerealium. Combustion gets ripped out. Bubble comes through. Big Drestigath connect. Drown gets feared. Chanimal trying to hold on. The Vitality Conduit comes through. Big Divine Favor from Cubsy. He's going to be able to stabilize Chanimal, but that was literally the entire spellbook. C9 needs to make something happen right now, or M2KC are going to knock them down to the lower bracket.
Are they actually going to do it? Brain just needs to use Sacrifice, Divine Shield Sacrifice, and kill Chanimal. It's over. It's game over. Cloud9 have been beaten. M2KC are going to the grand finals.
What an incredible series by M2KC. This is a place we do not often see Cloud9 heading to, and that is in the lower bracket, and they're going to have to fight so hard to get back into that grand finals position if they want to be there. M2KC, well done by them, and they are just, this team is looking so good right now, Peekaboo.
Wow, that was an insane